Hey, it's Dennis O'Brien back again on Let's Talk About It on WILI. I've been doing this for more than 20 years now. We took over, this show started in 1998. And Susan was the first host along with Alan Giordano.
Oh, that
And
was
that
an
was,
interesting group.
The interactions were amazing.
Yes.
I remember Dan Swachenko was on the show sitting in the middle one time while they were fighting across him. And Sue met me at the Main Street Cafe, I used to call it, or the brew pub, and Dan was walking in there with her, and Dan's eyes were like, wow, he was amazed by it. It was pretty amazing. Colin set it up that way because Colin always wanted people to come on and fight. He likes that. He didn't want he didn't want any guys or gals on there that would agree on anything. He likes to fight.
Okay.
And I bet to this day, if Ellen came back, he'd try to get Ellen in. I'm sure he was very sad when Harry retired. I wasn't. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here with Bill Sayers. Bill Sayers, wow, he's got so many things that he's doing. He's a former registrar, of course, of voters, but he was. I always take great pride in the fact that I've been on the Democratic Town Committee for a longer consecutive period.
Oh, yes.
Than anybody.
Yep.
When I first got on the town committee, it was around 1981. I got on in a special election. I won, and I had an opponent who I won't name, and I won by a few votes. And I got on the 50-member committee. And back then, Bill, it was a big deal.
Oh, you better believe
Getting
it
on
was.
the town committee, we had caucuses where we'd have 50 candidates on each ticket.
I remember where when we filled the high school auditorium, and
Yes.
another time
Right.
we had to get out of there and go sit in the cafeteria because we had so many people show up. That was a night. That was a night.
Those were the days when the town committee was. I would say it was more powerful back then, and once the media became more different, let's say, away from the print media, away from radio to some extent. Fortunately, we still have the Chronicle, we still have WILI, but the candidates became the stars. And I think when I was chair, I was the star. Now we have another star as our chairman. I'd say he's reinventing the Democratic Town Committee, doing a great job, Bill. But Bill was on the town committee when I first got on, the only one who, a lot of them are not still alive anymore.
No,
but
they're
the only
Nope.
one, that's sad, the only one who was on there when I got there. So he was there before me.
I think I got elected the first time in '77.
Yeah, I know you were there when I got on. And
then, of course, I took 20 years.
That's right.
I stepped away.
You stepped away, and that's when I passed you out as far as consecutive service. I mean, I go from 81 to, that's 19 plus 25. That's 44 years. So I have 44 years consecutive service. I've served as chairman 3 times. I loved being chairman. It's a great position. You get a chance to do a lot of good for the community.
Well, you do. But I have to say, sometimes it's very frustrating.
Oh.
When
Politics?
when you need that quorum and you need that, and you need to be able to communicate with people. Sometimes it gets difficult, but one of the things that I think we're doing right now with the Democratic Town Committee is we're doing a lot of outreach to the community.
I think your first campaign and Bill is also a member of the town council, and he's also a talk show host on WILI every Monday at 4:00. What's the name of the show? Bill.
You're on the air with Bill Sayers.
I know it has Bill Sayers in the title.
You're on the air with Bill Sayers.
There's no Dennis O'Brien in our title.
Thanks to Keith Rice for that good idea.
Oh, that was great. A great idea.
That is a good idea.
Every once in a great while, Keith will come up with a great idea.
Oh, okay.
Keith and I have a little thing going.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever the Cardinals lose, I mean, he gives me a hard time. But so does Wayne Norman, and I love them both. I do.
Yep.
Like brothers.
Both icons of the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, you are filling 3 roles now. You're Democratic Party chairman. Perhaps it's hard to say which is more important, but you are a key member of the Windham Town Council. In your last campaign, you kind of resurrected going door to door, knocking on doors, because we weren't doing as much of that as we used to do. And you led the way. You were knocking on doors all over town. I did a little door knocking but I was having trouble with the arthritis in my knees, and I didn't. And I wasn't running for the council. I was running for the taxing district board. But you led the way along with Peter Hughes, and you could tell me who was with you.
Oh wow, Peter Hughes.
Dawn Niles was out there.
Dawn Niles was out there. Katina Caban Owen was out there.
Yeah.
Alicia
Yeah.
Rivera.
Alicia Rivera,
You know,
yeah.
we had Mary Gallucci out there
Yep.
going door to door.
Yep.
We really worked hard.
Yeah, you
Dawn,
did.
I can't forget Lynn Ide either. You know.
Oh, Lynn Ide is a real gem.
You know, so
Lynn Ide
and,
is.
you know, I don't like to mention names because
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
so
you don't
afraid I'm going to forget somebody.
Well,
but
it's-
of course, our mayor was out there.
Yeah, that's right, Tom DeVivo.
Tom DeVivo, and we have you know, we have some great candidates again this year. People who
Oh, yeah.
really care
yeah.
about Wyndham.
Yeah, I think we're in good shape as far as you know our candidate slate. We're going to go over it if I have anything to say about it pretty soon. I want to talk a little bit though about your other role of talk show host on you know, what is it? Bill Sayers on the
Air with Bill Sayers.
On the Air with Bill Sayers. Okay, I know it
There
had
we
Bill
go.
Sayers in the title.
Monday at 4:00. There we are.
I don't think there's anybody else hosting a talk show that has their name in the title. Not even Wayne Norman, right? I don't think so. It's the morning show with Wayne Norman. Well, he's with Wayne-O. Okay, well, I don't want to give him any ideas. But anyway, Bill Sayers' name is in the title. His show is 4 p.m. Mondays. He's had some great guests on the show. I have not been among them yet, but he just booked me.
Yep.
I'm expecting to be on the show on the 18th of this month.
Yep. Next week we have the Wyndham Emergency Management Director. I think he's a you know, a good choice to have on. He's going to talk to us what happens in the event of, and let's not forget that coming up on I think it's August 16th. Did I say that I think I read that the Willimantic Police Department's going to have a emergency reaction to a fake mass casualty or some sort of event like that.
Okay.
So you know, I'll get more details to you, Dennis, so we can get it out to our guests.
Well, I'll
you know.
probably find out when I have our next taxing district meeting
but
on
you know, that's
Tuesday the 12th.
they're training.
Yeah.
But we don't want people to panic that they're training. You could hear fake gun.
Right,
You could
right.
hear fake gun fire.
Ooh.
You could hear see helicopters overhead, etc.
That's
So,
good to know. You
Yes.
know, that got by me. I didn't know that. I'm
Yeah.
on the taxing district board, which interacts a lot, you know, pretty much exclusively with the police and fire
Yes,
departments.
yes.
And I think
And you know what? I like that because I really believe that you guys are doing a great job.
yeah, we have a good team
With,
of people, and
yeah.
you know, we have an election coming up. We'll talk about that when we go through the candidates, and I think I have to give Tom White some credit because Tom White served on the Charter Revision Commission with me. I don't always agree with Tom White, frankly, but when he was on the Charter Commission, he suggested that the Willimantic. We used to have a setup, and I put this in myself and got it passed. We used to have a setup where the Willimantic members of the town council would automatically be the taxing district members too, for the Willimantic Taxing District Board of Directors. And Tom thought that was a conflict of interest. I didn't agree, but I have to say we changed it. We went along with it, and it worked out quite well. Because I think the people who were on the town council, like myself, Randall Prose, I think some of the others. Nick Tellis Martinez was on it. You know, back then. Even Lynn Ide. Lynn Ide was a member of that board when she was on the town council, and then she's now the chair of the board of ed, of course. And I think we have more time to focus on police and fire. There's plenty to do in this town governmentally. You know that.
Yes. Oh, yes. It never stops.
It never
And,
stops.
you know, one of the things is you try to work with the folks. You know,
Yeah.
like on the footbridge, we had 4 community forums. We did a lot, but we don't get the response that we hope for.
Well, you know, it's you know, I always say when I'm at town committee meetings, and sometimes people are tired of hearing me saying it, but it is a lot harder today to get a response on anything. I mean, people are just not volunteering to the same extent that they used to, and I think it has a lot to do with being able to be entertained at home by you know, streaming, 500 channels, whatever, you know, and then you've got iPhones, and you've got you know, all kind PCs.
Yep.
And people are. I know it has affected kids because it's affected my grandchildren for sure.
Yes. Oh, I agree.
Oh yeah, and
I see it with my granddaughter.
right.
Yep.
And they're still doing good in school, but I'm not sure that they're getting the kind of interaction they need with the community, and
Well,
that is important.
My granddaughter, my son and his wife are very, the phone goes away when she comes home because out she goes, play, she's fortunate to be growing up in a cul-de-sac with an awful lot of kids in the neighborhood.
Oh, that's important.
And she's constantly outside, and of course, she has her own pool and backyard pool and things like that. But the one thing I was talking about, Dennis, was the police training exercises, August 16th, 2025. And our department, it says about the police department, our department, along with many of our partner agencies, will be conducting a readiness training exercise on August 16th, 2025. These exercises are an important part of ensuring we are fully prepared to respond to large-scale situations. So there's no threat to the public, but you could see an increased public safety presence, helicopters, ambulances, and well as the potential for sirens, loud simulated gunfire, and yelling.
That's worth.
So on the 16th, folks, relax. Just call the non-emergency number if you have concerns.
I'm going to ask you to repeat that later in the show because sometimes there are people who turn in late to the show, and sometimes there are people who tune in early and they don't like something I said maybe, and they turn it off. So it's important for us to, whenever we have something really important for the public to know, we always try to talk about it at least 2 times on the show at different junctures in the show, and that's very important. I'm glad you brought that up. It's another reason why I'm glad that it's great having another host on WILI on the show because they know the ropes, and that's
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And one of the other things I want to just say, because I'm a commissioner on both boards, and that's the Water Department and the Water Pollution Control Authority. I want to tell you how lucky the residents of Windham that receive water and sewer are, because they have amazing services. Amazing. The sewer department, I tell you, I can't say enough about them. They are on top of it, and by their use of live microorganisms, they've been able to reduce the amount of chemicals that they use to process and that's amazing.
It's wonderful.
And it's amazing. And to have our water commission, which is so important to make certain that our waterways are kept pollution free. We're very fortunate in this town. We don't only have the police and the fire, we have the water and the sewer, and we're blessed.
We also have as you pointed out, you're on both of them. We also have citizen commissions. That helps set the policy for the water department and for the pollution control authority.
Yes. Yep.
Used to be the sewer board. Now
Water pollution control authority.
Water pollution control authority.
Yes. I just, and it's getting harder to find volunteers. It is. Back when we first got involved, everybody wanted to be a part of the community.
Oh God.
And today it's different. We have a whole different outlook on things.
People would fight tooth and nail for a seat on a minor board or on the town committee.
Or even to run for town constable.
Oh, sure. That's right. That's right.
Back then, we elected town constables, and everybody wanted to be one.
Board of Assessment Appeals, they got a small stipend. Very small, and people wanted to be on that.
Yep.
And it was, it was because they wanted to serve the community, but it was also because the jobs the positions it's very fulfilling. As well as I do, Bill, that public service is difficult, very difficult at times. You have to make some tough decisions.
Oh my God!
But you learn a lot, and you learn a lot that you're not going to learn in a classroom. Just like a lot of things. I mean, that's why I coached sports for baseball, softball, and a little bit of basketball for so many years because I think team sports teaches you a lot about life. And for one thing, it teaches you how to work as a team.
Yes.
And that's what we need to do in all of these boards and commissions.
We need more of teamwork in this country now because
absolutely.
we're in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't care who wants to argue with me on that. I'll stand up to anybody.
Sure.
This country, our democracy is looking very, very pale right now. So We need a transfusion of some sort.
You know, you're not going to get any disagreement from me on that.
Oh, I know you're not.
And
No.
and I'm you know I'm really worried about the federal level, of course, as you are, as everybody should be.
Yep.
When you have congressional Republicans, I'll say it, who are just in lockstep with whatever the president wants, even if it's doesn't appear to be a good idea for most people in this country, and that's a problem. That's a real problem, and so I think the closer you get to the people, the more the government agencies and elected officials do work as a team.
Yes.
And
Yep.
of course, the closest to the people is the local people, and that's what we're involved in. And
Oh, it was Tip O'Neill who said all politics is local.
it's true. It is all local, and I think one of the reasons that I like being on the Willimantic Taxing District Board is I am so impressed with the police and fire departments and how they work as a team within their own departments, but together also with the Wyndham volunteer fire departments, and the agencies from out of town. We do the ambulance for a town of Chaplin, and I am the town attorney there. And I'll tell you the people are well served, very well served, and because of that, I've decided to, I was thinking about retiring. I've tried to retire for years from local government, and I just can't seem to do it. And one of the reasons I'm staying on now, well, you're one reason too. We have a great leader in Bill Sayers for the Democratic Town Committee, and that means a lot to me.
Well, thank you.
It means a lot to me. I identify, one of the things I identify most as is a former chairman of the Wyndham Democratic Town Committee, just like I identify as former judge of probate. And I really think it's very important to have somebody filling the shoes I once filled who is good at it. And Bill is great at it, and he's doing a great job.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I'll tell you what, I'll give
ahead.
you a hint. One of my guests coming up sometime in September is the former candidate for governor, Bill Curry.
Oh, wonderful.
He's going to come down and talk with me,
that's
and
great.
maybe you can join us that day.
I'd like to stop by and say hi anyway.
Oh, yeah. So I try to bring in, and my position as chair gives me the,
Yes, it
the
does.
phone numbers and the
does.
step in the right direction to bring these guests to Willimantic.
Yeah, we also have that kind of a
Yes, you do.
connection not through me so much anymore, but through Susan Johnson.
Yep.
Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today because she's out in the community doing good works. That's what she does.
That's what's important.
That's what she does. She was over at the Housing Authority today dealing with some sort of an issue over there. And now she's all doing something else that I don't even know. She just comes and goes. And Dennis, you're in charge of the cats.
Well, I had present Senator Matt Lesser on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I love Matt.
Talk about the state level and what happened in the, and one of the things we talked about was education and the fact that we're going to get a little bit more money for special ed. Not a heck of a lot, but
it's a foot in the door.
And that's and those are the kind of things I like to talk about is what we're doing for the people of Wyndham.
Right.
Not everybody agrees with me on the town level. And I don't, it doesn't matter.
You're never going to get 100% agreement. No way.
I do what I think is best.
Yeah, the important thing is that we work together. I just had a nice.
I'm going to just say this. I'm a little disappointed that our former town manager knew of the condition of the footbridge and never brought that to the town council for the 7 years that he was here.
I don't recall. I was on the town council for 6 of those years. I don't ever remember that coming up. And I, that's another issue.
And then when we get the call, it's too late. I mean, that's sad. We could have been looking for the funds to rebuild this for the last 7 years, but instead nobody tells you. The town council's only good as the information that it receives.
That's right. You can't do something that you don't know, and somebody's got to know. And I want to give the current town council a lot of praise for hiring the new town manager. I think he's very, very bright. I think he's working very hard, and I think I think in the long run we're going to be very, very happy with him. Don't forget, he came in at a rough time. He came in just as the budget season was starting, and he put together a budget along with you guys, along with the Board of Finance, just as he helped us put together a budget for police and fire, and we passed ours.
Well, we made it extra hard for him, and in the fact that
did.
I led I led that fight, and I didn't want an increase of any kind. I wanted a zero budget.
Right.
And we dumped that in his lap.
Yep.
And I think, considering what we did to him, he did okay.
I think he did fine. I think you'll find, and I like working with him I've been actually, I'm the vice president. Actually, the title is vice president. I feel a little weird about that. I'm vice chair is what I really am of the taxing district board. We have a chairman who has been going back and forth to another home he has. He's older, like I am, and he hasn't been available for a lot of meetings. Comes every once in a while, but I've been chairing the meetings a lot, helping prepare the agendas with the town manager, and I've worked with him, the town manager, a lot, and I'm very much impressed with him. Whenever I need anything from him, and I try not to go to the well too often because I know how. One of the first things I say to him when I call him up, just as I did with Jim Rivers, I know you're busy, but I need to bring this to your attention.
Well, I've instituted something for myself personally, and that is that we get 5 minutes under town council comment in a town council meeting.
Yeah.
I don't bother with that, per se. I now write all my questions out, hand them to him at that point.
Yeah.
And, can get back to me over the next week or so. Let me know what the answers are.
Yeah, I always liked dealing. People say it's backroom politics, maybe, but I've always liked dealing with folks one to one. Not that I didn't like hearing from all my colleagues on the town council at the meetings, but I also would talk to them off the record. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get things done. That's how you get votes for things that you think are important.
That's right.
And if people don't like it, that's the way it works at the state and federal level as well.
Well, I call people.
Absolutely.
What do you think of this idea?
Of course.
Would you join me on this? Or,
right.
And then, we talk it out at the town council meeting, and it's either a yes or a no.
That's
I've had
right.
people vote no.
I've had issues that I haven't gotten my way on when I was on the town councel.
No, that's
I
fine.
didn't like it.
I understand. Yeah,
I didn't like it.
You don't
but,
like it, but you have to live
that's
with
the way it goes, and it's not nothing. None of it was anything that was world shattering or is going to bring the town down completely or up. But there are a lot of issues, and we have a lot of thoughtful people in the town council with different points of view. Both Democrats and Republicans. And we also have one of the things I always say when we talk about local politics is that it's important for people from different parties to work together. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Election time, that's different. Okay, in fact, I used to do a lot of swearing in, as you may recall, when I was town chair.
Yep.
And I would be swearing in everybody, even Republicans at times. And I would always make a little speech and said, the election's over. It's time for everybody to work together. And the Republicans would say to me, you want us to work together? Republicans and Democrats? You're such a hardcore Democrat? I said, yes, you have to. And you got, and it works better that way.
It most certainly does.
It works better that way. In fact, I was at I sat next to you. We both had chairs. A lot of people didn't bring chairs, but they were walking around a lot. But us old timers, especially me, I just had surgery too on my ear, and I brought a chair and we sat together, and people were coming up and talking to me and you that were from all parties, and people that I've had issues with in the past, not personal issues though, on issues before the town, and we're all friendly and getting together and talking to each other, and we got to do that. That's important. That should be done, as you say, on all levels of government, all levels. So that's fantastic, and I know you realize that, and I know that the town council today is working together as well as could possibly be, I think, and we've got a lot of tough issues facing us. No question.
We do.
No question.
There's a lot of financial issues, facing us that we are going to have to figure out how to resolve.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'd like to see happen, and maybe you'll disagree with me on this, but I'd really like to consider putting the footbridge on the November ballot and asking people what they want to do. Do they want to repair it? Do they want to bond the money? Or do they want to take it down?
Yeah, if you put it on the ballot, it's got to be a simple, question.
Yep.
Maybe 3 possible responses.
Yep.
I'd have to think that through as to whether that's a good idea, but sounds good at first hearing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would want other people's input.
Sounds worthy of consideration.
Yep.
I guess that's probably not an issue that is going to influence somebody's vote on the candidates. And if you're going to put an issue on the ballot, because this has come up before, but not this issue, But when I was chairman, I generally would be very careful putting any issues on the ballot that I thought might influence the vote on the election for the public officials, because I think that's important. Because I think, it may be that if you put an issue like that on the ballot, and I'm thinking out loud now, and maybe I'm saying too much, but the people might be asking each of you to take a stand in advance, and that could cause people to have to. That's a tough issue. God, I would have to know a lot more than I know about it
Well,
now.
of course, we're
in terms
asking-
of the expense.
Right. Well, the town manager is gathering the
Oh,
facts.
oh, I
He's
bet he is.
gathering
I
the.
bet he is.
He put out an RFI,
Yep.
request for information,
Yep.
and next will be a request for proposals.
Yeah.
As soon as he gathers all of that information, so that's being done. So we're not going into this blindly on
No.
any manner.
It
So-
sounds to me like it's one of the issues that probably I would support going on the ballot. At the same time, you have elections for town council, board of education, taxing district board of directors, everything. Zoning board of appeals. But there aren't too many issues that I would say should go on the ballot at the same time.
Okay.
It is something to, that's food for thought for you. Just my own feeling about it, because I have faced that situation. I can't remember what the issue was, but I know it was an issue involving spending money,
Yep. Okay.
and they usually are.
And as you're aware,
Yep.
another dilemma I have as chair is the fact that the state legislature and state senate have determined that college campuses with 1,000 students or more have to have a polling place placed on them. So now this comes from the state level. It's an unfounded mandate to us.
Yeah,
It will increase our budget,
yeah.
but this is something we have to do. And by the way, something I support.
Yeah, I would support having more polling places in town anyway.
Well, I'm disappointed. When I was registrar, we had 5 polling places.
Yeah,
Now we have 3, and the people
Yeah.
from North Wyndham have to come all the way to the Elks.
I know.
That doesn't sit well with me, to be
Well,
honest.
frankly, talking, straight on and not holding anything back. I have worked a lot of elections, as you know, probably more than anybody in town, except maybe Susan Johnson. Susan Johnson's probably knocked on more doors than I have. But I've ran a lot of election campaigns, and that includes when I was chair and beyond, and before I was chair. And I got to tell you, I've always had a lot of concern about the turnouts at certain parts of town, and one of the places is Wyndham Heights.
Mhm.
And there's so many people living there, so many young people with children who really should be interested so much in Wyndham and its future, our future. And the turnouts there are usually I've gone there with somebody who used to be the best in the Latino community at getting out the vote. You
And
know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, and he was a dynamite campaigner.
Amazing.
Yep.
He was amazing. For many, I think I'd worked together with him for 30 years.
Well, if you remember, my primary for registrar,
Oh, I do.
he was a big help.
Oh, I still remember our post election summer celebration at the home of the late great Charlotte Petros.
Oh, yes.
And I
Yeah.
remember there was a picture in the paper of you, I think, hugging him.
Yeah.
And he did. I mean, he's made a difference, and we wouldn't have a new middle school if it weren't for James Flores.
Nope.
That we won by 4 votes, and James and I led the way, and you and a lot of other people worked with us, and we only got that passed by 4 votes, and God, what a deal that was! We only paid $8 million locally for that.
Yep.
And it only cost $24 million. To build a school like that today would probably cost $100 million. And it was an incredible deal.
Probably 125 to 135.
Maybe
million.
more.
Yep.
That's right. And so anyway, I think if we had the polling place, and we showed the town showed the people of Wyndham Heights, a lot of whom are very young, and with children, that this town government of the town of Wyndham is so interested in them voting and them participating in the democratic process, small d, in this town, that we would put a polling place right there in the Heights where people from North Wyndham could vote.
Yep. Well, you
And
know who else?
that's my own personal
You
idea.
know who else I've heard about who's had that idea and would really love to see that done is Rodney Alexander.
Good.
Yeah,
Good for
he has
him.
brought that up too. You know that
Okay.
we need something at the Heights.
Yeah,
And,
I'm
you
sure
know,
we'd get bigger turnouts
Yeah.
as time went by, and we also might, another thing I thought of years ago. I've been on Charter Revision Commission 5 times. Thought about a lot of these issues for the charter. Is it remember when we used to have wards? Remember
Oh, yes.
remember Armand Martineau in the
Oh,
fourth
yes,
ward?
the fourth ward.
Jake Lewis.
Yep, ran that with an iron fist.
Right. You and I go back to those days when if you'd vote by wards and you would have ward representation. I think on the city council.
City council.
Back when they had a city council and people like John Dearest, and I remember Dave Calchera was the mayor when I first came to town.
Yep.
The late great Dave Calchera, when we had representation from smaller units in town. And I think if you had representation from North Windham and other towns, you broke it up. It might be complicated in today's atmosphere. As we talked about, it's hard to get a hold of voters because people don't answer their phones because they're constantly being beleaguered by people trying to sell them something.
Yeah.
But back then, I thought it would be a good idea to get more interest in local. It's food for thought. It's food for thought. It's not something that I'm sure would work really well and it would fly with a lot of people. But, it might be a good idea to break us down into wards. I think Killingly might have that. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. You might get a different makeup of the council, different candidates representing different parts of town. To the extent it matters that each part of this town, we're not a big town. We're big in some ways. Well, the Wyndham's is large, area-wise. I mean, but you might get some representation from areas that you don't get it from right now. Anyway, just a thought. I'm not complaining about the current setup. In fact, we should spend some time talking about the election coming up on Tuesday, November 4th.
4th.
Okay, you've got? Okay, first of all, there's town council.
Town council. Well, we'll start with the mayor. We got Tom DeVivo.
Right.
And our candidates for town council are Dawn Niles, Rodney Alexander, Joe Pliss.
Hold on. Let me stop you because we have two kinds of candidates now. I was on that charter.
Oh, that's right.
I was on that commission.
The difference. Okay.
That was something that Tom White and I we agreed on that, to try to move in the direction, hopefully, someday, maybe long after I'm gone, of one Wyndham. I'd like to see that happen.
So let me start this over again.
Go ahead.
So we have.
Sorry for the interruption.
No, you were right though.
Okay.
Mayor, we have Tom DeVivo.
Yeah.
For town council at large, you have Dawn Niles, Randall Prose, and Bill Sayers.
Correct.
And
you currently hold those 3 seats at large. So you and Dawn
and
Randall represent the entire town.
That's right.
I mean, you're not just representing you who live in the city, and Dawn's not just representing the Wyndhams.
And then representing the Wyndhams from South Wyndham is Joe Pliss.
Right.
And then coming into the city, or the Willimantic section of Wyndham, we have Rodney Alexander, Eddie Rios, Clinton Adams. Who am I missing?
That's all we have for the Democrats, I think. How many Democrats do we have? That's 3 Democrats plus the mayor. That's 7.
I'm missing somebody.
In the city? It's not town-wide because I think you've got 3 town-wide seats.
All right, let me see. I'm going around.
I should have brought my list.
Around the table. I've got Pliss. I've got Adams. I've got the mayor. I've got Dawn Niles. I have myself. Randall Prose, Eddie Rios, and Rodney Alexander. I said them all. Okay.
Yeah.
There's 8 of us.
Yeah. There are 8.
You know.
Okay, so there's 3 other seats that are held by other parties.
Well, I can tell you, I know that on the bottom line party, we're going to see some candidates. We're going to see Ken Folan running at large. We're going to see Suzanne Blancafleur running in Wyndham Center. And we're going to see Mark Doyle running in the city. So there's some alternatives, but not to the Democrats, of course, but alternatives to the Republicans, I guess I could say.
Okay, well, the bottom line story is an old story, but it was created when Harry Carboni, former host of this show, long time ago, he was the chair of the Republican Town Committee for a brief, I wouldn't say a shining moment,
No, a brief moment.
a brief moment, and there were people he was very conservative, and there were people who were more centrist oriented,
Yeah.
who split from the Republican Party and the local Republican Party, and became members of the Bottom Line Party.
Yep.
And those three candidates you named, two of them were Doyle and Folden.
Yep.
Were both
Yep. So
in that movement.
it's all politics.
Yeah.
We're lucky. We're
Yeah.
lucky we have the people that still are willing to volunteer. On the Board of Ed this year, we have somebody new,
Yep.
Catherine Pomo,
Right.
and I'm excited about that. And we also have a new candidate, Gary Fetza,
Right.
and they're running with Paula Haney.
Right.
And of course, on the Board of Finance, the same crew's coming up, and that's another good thing that we're lucky to have.
Oh,
that
you're very
crew.
lucky. I don't know how you did that, because I thought you were going to lose some people.
We have
You've got a great board,
we
best
have-
board I've ever seen.
on the Board of Finance. You
Yeah.
better believe it.
Never saw a better
Tyler
board.
Griffin,
Yep.
Garnett McLaughlin, Peter Hughes, Mary Ann Daly, and Kevin Donahue.
Right. We
You know?
have 6,
5.
5 out of 7.
Yep.
That's all we can get under the
Yep,
state
yep.
statute.
And then, of course, running for re-election on the Willimantic Taxing Board is another great group of people, and that's Dennis O'Brien, Jarrett Lightzel, and
Adam Richardson.
Adam Richardson,
And a new
and
candidate.
they're joined by
Postler.
Kayla Postler.
Kayla Postler is the new candidate.
Yeah, and
Right.
she's great. She's
Yep.
going to fit in with you guys really well.
We haven't had a woman on that board during the past 2 years, and
Yep.
we definitely need. It's not the same when you don't have a woman. Just like it's not the same on WILI when Susan Johnson's voice is not being heard. But you know what? I think we're doing pretty good, Bill.
I think we are.
I think we're
we
doing
are.
pretty
I
good,
think
and
we're talking
we're
about
getting
some
we
great
got
stuff.
we got a great producer. What do you call him? The
Sultan of Radio,
The
Matt
Sultan of
Rupar.
Radio.
Yes.
the superstar of radio.
Yes, he does an amazing job.
Well, you know why we're buttering him up, because we
Yeah.
couldn't do our shows without him.
No, we couldn't. So yeah,
We'd have to
you
learn.
know.
We'd have to learn a lot of technical
Well, I
stuff.
learned from you that you always make sure that the people who you work with know how much you appreciate
That's
them.
well, you got to.
You've got to.
You got to.
You know,
people love that. They love.
And I make sure that
and
that-
Matt likes it. He knows we appreciate him.
I know
and
that the town hall employees, I make sure they know when they've
That's-
done a good job that
that's
how
right.
much we appreciate them.
That's right.
And how lucky we are to have the police and fire departments that we
Oh
have.
God,
We
they're
have
doing so
4
well.
We have 4 amazing fire departments in this town.
Right. And in the city, we lost our two excellent chiefs, Scrivener and Hussey, both
Yep.
retired.
Yep.
And they had to be replaced. And actually the taxing district board, in the person of I think Adam Lee Richardson, worked with the town council to help hire the new chiefs, and that would be people who were promoted from
Yep.
from within.
Yeah, we're lucky that we have the people that we can promote.
Oh, that's
How
right. That's
fortunate
right.
are we?
That's right. We have Fabian Silva in the police department, and Palmer, Chief
Ron
Palmer,
Palmer
Chief
Jr.
Ron Palmer Jr.
Yep.
Doing a great job. They haven't missed a beat.
No. The
Nothing.
two of them are amazing.
Oh
leaders.
wow!
Yeah.
I just love working with them
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
They pulled off this event the other night, the National Night Out. I had Chief Silva. He was my guest last week, and Chief Silva told me on the show. I thought this was something that we've been doing here for a long time, and somehow I didn't get wind of it. But no, that was the first time we've ever done it. Chief Silva decided that for 40 years it's been done nationwide, not everywhere.
And we have not participated.
We have not participated, but
you
we
know?
did it, and look at what a great time we had. Everybody had a great
You
time.
know, I served on the Board of Selectmen
Yep,
when Jack Hussey was the chief,
yep,
and I served on the town council
right,
when Paul Hussey was chief.
Right,
So,
right.
I served with both of them. I did
Yep.
not serve with Ron Palmer Sr., but I knew who he was, of course.
Sure, I did
He
too.
had been a fireman for years.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
So we're just lucky that we have this kind of leadership and people of great. Look at our new deputy chief.
Right. Absolutely.
Fire chief just stepped right up from the ranks, and how lucky we are.
Fantastic. Lives in the Wyndhams.
Yes. Yep.
Is very active in the Wyndhams. I
Yep.
think he was a member. I don't know if he's still going to stay on. I suppose he can. He's a member of the First Taxing District Board of Directors. Pretty
Okay.
sure.
All right.
Yeah. And he's also been I guess before that he was a volunteer fireman.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's very experienced.
You know, and one of the things that I enjoy about politics, and I'll just say this, is being able to solve the everyday problems that people bring to you. Like, you know, a parking problem in Wyndham Center. They're driving on the lawn, they're wrecking the grass, they're creating ruts. So, we just move right along, and, you can get Public Works out there, and we do we can, put some granite block in there, and people can't do that anymore. And that's the easy stuff.
I'm glad you mentioned Public Works because I've worked with Don Fascio a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And Don does an awful lot in his department. They do an awful lot to help the Little League now.
Mm-hmm.
They help the Little League. They do take good care of the fields. It used to be that we did it all ourselves. And I can remember I can't count how many times I have prepared the fields at the Little League complex on Route 32. So many times. It's probably good work, good exercise for me. But right now, I'm not at my age. I'm not interested in doing that stuff anymore.
No. And of course those guys come right out and help us with Holiday Lights on Main.
Oh yeah.
And that's a thing that I was very happy to be a part of for a while.
Of that, yeah.
And so that's still an amazing thing.
That is amazing.
We'll be decorating Main Street again this year, and it works out well. And then of course you have the Christmas fire truck parade, and that's and I'm hopeful that the Democratic Town Committee is going to have a float this year.
Yeah, that would be great.
We're going to do that. I'm going to put Amanda DeVivo in charge of that, and have her get us a float for the Holiday Lights parade.
Great having Amanda DeVivo on the town committee.
Yes.
Great having her.
Yes.
She's young and she's got a lot of energy, and she's really been working very hard to help us out.
She's very cooperative. And I just want to remind people about the police training exercise on August 16th. This is an emergency response drill. And what to expect is increased public safety presence, helicopters, ambulances, as well as the potential for sirens, loud simulated gunfire, and yelling. So just remember, that's an emergency response drill on August 16th, 2025, sponsored by the Willimantic Police Department to help them to prepare to respond to large-scale situations.
Yeah, we'll continue to try to spread the word on that and through various means, because it's important, as Bill pointed out, that people be aware of that so they don't think it's really happening for real, that it's not just an exercise, a training exercise, but it's a very important one. Anyway, it's just another great thing that our police and fire departments do in conjunction with a lot of other.
Well, they are constantly training.
Yeah,
and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
They announced the other night they're having some Narcan training. Yeah, and that's great. And anybody who's interested, if there is a Narcan training coming up at Town Hall, you can call Town Hall at 860-465-3006. And you can sign up for that training if you'd like to know how to do it.
That's great.
Because now we have it in all of our AED boxes around town. So there is Narcan to help the public. So,
well, I think the punchline on all of this that we've been talking about is that Wyndham the people of Wyndham are being well served by government. It's not easy. It's not perfect. It's a tough situation, because don't forget, the government does whatever the private sector won't do. If they can't make a profit at it, they're not going to do it.
Right.
But if they find they can make a profit at something, boom, they're going to move right in. And
Yep.
you know what? We're better off We're better off in a lot of ways with government taking the lead on some of these things.
Yep.
I think so. And Wyndham is a very good example of why that's so.
Right.
Why that's so.
Right.
We have so many of the people that work for the people in this town are not even employees; they're volunteers.
Oh yeah.
Virtually volunteers. I mean, you get. I think the town council gets a very small stipend. They did when I was on there, but that's about it. I mean, everybody's doing all this stuff.
And Dennis,
they're doing it because they care about the town.
Dennis, if I may, can I put in a plug for my favorite charity?
Sure.
Folks, the Willimantic Covenant Soup Kitchen is hurting. We need food. I can't tell you the amount of food we're going through. And if anybody went online today and looked up the town of Killingly, the line for the food pickup was a mile long in their cars. We need help. I'm having dinner tonight with the folks who raised the money, the Bread Box crew. We're getting together tonight. You know, we helped raise the money, almost $300,000 over the last 17 years. But we need food. Just bring it to the back door and look for the CSK tag, and they'll take the food right out of the car and bring it down in for you. We could really use your help. Thanks.
That's
I'm sorry,
great,
Dennis, but
hey, that's important. That's a really good thing to get in there, and I'm going to be with you on August 18th. Thanks for the invitation. Monday, August 18th, 4 o'clock. Bill Sayers on the air. Is that the name of the show?
You're on the air with Bill Sayers.
On the air with Bill Sayers. I'll get it right sooner or later.
There we go.
It's kind of a catchy title.
And don't forget, the Sultan of Radio, Matt Rupar, is with me every Monday as well.
Well, I'll see him here too then. We'll be right back in the same studio. Be the same, well, I don't know if you'll have a co-host, but if you do, that's good.
Yeah, well, I
Whatever.
think, we're going to continue our talk about politics in Windham.
I think so. Politics and government, and we're having a great summer. Things are going well here. There's lots of things going on down at the Shabu stage. And
Isn't that's an amazing thing to see the Latinos stepping up
I love it.
And taking, putting on their own events and stuff. That is amazing for the town.
What I also love, one more thing, what I also love is the community center, the seniors and the kids in the same buildings, working together, getting to know each other. And I said that when we promoted this community senior center, as that's going to work out real well. Okay, Bill Sayers, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me,
Okay,
Dennis.
Bill Sayers, our Democratic Party chair, town councilman, and radio host on WILI. Matt Rupar will be back next week on Let's Talk About It with another great show with our guest, Board of Education Chairman, Lynn I.